Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of the program Jones and Company. On this program we examine national issues. Local government, it's very important to people in many countries in the Caribbean. Indeed, it's very important to many people in the family islands of the Bahamas, and residents in New Providence are yearning for the introduction of local government in New Providence. The capital city of the Bahamas, New Providence, doesn't yet have local government. But today on our program we will talk about local government in general. And we are pleased to be welcoming to our capital representatives from around the Caribbean who are here to attend the biennial meeting of the Caribbean Association of Local Government Authorities. They are meeting this weekend here in the Bahamas in New Providence. Our guests on the program today are Lucy Slack, who is the Deputy Secretary General of the Commonwealth Local Government Forum. She is joined in this segment of the program by Mr. Alexander Williams, who is the Administrator for Freeport Grand Bahama and past coordinator of the Caribbean Association of Local Government Authorities. And I'm told that he has been working in local government for many, many years. It's our pleasure to have you both here today. Thank you so very much for being here today. Dr. Eunice, nice to have you here.
Thank you.
And you've been associated with local government for a long time?
To some extent.
In some capacity?
To some extent.
Yes. Let's begin with Mr. Williams, because I believe that you are one of the hosts of the Caribbean, your Caribbean colleagues. Tell us about the association.
Well, the association has been formed primarily to ensure that local government authorities are strengthened and continue to develop and to derive full capacity in what they are mandated to do. And so the CALGA, as we call it, the acronym, brings together national associations, and we would examine these national associations, see what their challenges are, and afford them the opportunity to continue to develop them and to actually speak with heads of the various countries. And so the Caribbean Association also stretches out from the Caribbean Forum of Local Government Ministers, and they are also meeting this weekend here in Nassau.
Okay.
The ministers, the local government ministers, would discuss and make certain recommendations to their head of state, and their head of state, when they meet at CARICOM, will then discuss. And when they meet at CARICOM, then what happens there, notes are taken, and it is presented when the Commonwealth Local Government Forum meets. And the Commonwealth Local Government Forum meets with delegation from all Commonwealth countries. And so Lucy Slack will elaborate on that.
Right.
And she will tell you how those views that may come from a meeting such as this will end up at the Shogam.
Good. So, Lucy, let's talk about the Commonwealth Local Government Forum. How did the forum come about, and why really is it called a forum rather than an association or a secretariat?
Well, we were formed in about 1995 at a time when a lot of Commonwealth countries were starting to decentralise and set up systems of local government. And they felt that there would be a value in coming together within the Commonwealth to share ideas and to create sort of common positions globally. And so we're unique really in terms of local government organisations, in that we bring together not just local governments and councils, city councils and district councils, but we also bring in the ministries of local government, so that we can provide a platform for engagement between local and central government. Because of course if you're decentralising power, it's about what happens locally of course, but it's also about what happens from the centre to local government too. So that was really the ethos behind the organisation being founded, and we work extremely closely with both CALGA, the Caribbean Association of Local Government Authorities, and CFLGM, the ministers, in terms of supporting their work here in the region. And as Alexander said, you know, we listen very much to the messages that come from here, and we're both a lobbying organisation, so we take those messages forward to heads of state via the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. But we also work with our partners here in the region to try and build capacity to strengthen the relationship between local and central government.
Tell me, Ms. Slack, is your organization, you may not want to hear described as part of the Anglo-American approach to deepening Western democracy in these countries?
I think as an organisation we very much take an approach that we listen to our members, and that the recommendations that come from our members are those that we take, whether that's to Commonwealth Heads of Government or whether that's within our own organisation. And rather than bringing in a particular model and saying you need to do something in this way, we look at what's happening in other Commonwealth countries, we encourage the exchange of good practice, we encourage the exchange of views, and we try and encourage our members and support our members to develop solutions to the kind of issues that they're facing, which are appropriate to the context that they find on the ground. And of course, it's different everywhere.
There's one Commonwealth country, Zimbabwe. How are you working in Zimbabwe?
Well, Zimbabwe's actually pulled out of the Commonwealth, so we're not working at a governmental level with Zimbabwe, but we still as an organisation retain our links very closely with local government in Zimbabwe. And obviously, at the time that Zimbabwe decides to come back into the Commonwealth, whenever that might be, we'd obviously be very anxious to pick up our relations with them as a member of the Commonwealth.
But this is a Caribbean forum. And what would you say would be the major challenges facing local government authorities in the Caribbean today?
Well, one of the challenges that has existed was to be able to have the local government authorities strengthened, to be able to identify their local needs, and to be able to get and to woo the central government that they do have the capacity to assist central government when it comes to the identifying activities that can enhance local economy, provide jobs at the local level, and to decrease unemployment, decrease crime, and to develop a holistic community involving the young people, addressing the minorities and their issues, the marginalized. And local government can do this, and we know that local government has been able to identify these. They have been able to give suggestions and recommendations to central government. One of the things that the forum has been doing and the association CALGA has been doing is to be able to have central government to understand and to appreciate that at the local level there are much that they can tap into to assist. Like one of the delegates mentioned in one of our briefings this morning, we want local government to appear to be that which in the South Africa Constitution says another sphere of government, not just a subordinate. We don't want local government to appear to be just a millstone around the neck of central government. It's got to be one of central government's main partners. A government or governance that is closer to the people has been more responsive to the needs and aspirations of the people.
But Mr. Williams, do you see the enthusiasm in the Bahamas for the participation of the electorate in local government? And perhaps Ms. Slack, you can answer that as well, in terms of the extent to which people have bought into participating in local government in the various countries of the region.
Mr. Jones, that has been one of my concerns, the enthusiasm and the demonstration as to the degree of participation in local government, especially in the electoral process. I am now compiling data from the last local government elections, I was disappointed in the participation, and I think we need to do so much more to develop the consciousness, the appreciation, the importance of what local government is. It's one of our strongest pillars in democracy and deepening of democracy. Mm-hmm. It is one of our best ways of having participatory governance, to get those people in there, to let them be a part of it, to be a part of framing their future and their destiny. And so we know from my last survey, found that the southeastern islands and the lesser affluent islands are more participatory. Freeport has had the lowest turnout in the entire country. I haven't gotten all the statistics yet, but it's less than 20% of the registered voters participated.
But Mr. Williams, before you came in, they told me that, to my surprise, that Barbados has no local government. Barbados has no local government. So all what you're saying is same as if the people in Barbados disagree with you.
I don't know if they do, because
They
Barbados.
ain't got no local government, so
No, Barbados is now coming to us, and Barbados is asking the Caribbean Association to assist them, to champion the cause of having them to re-establish local government.
But they used to have local
They
government.
used to have.
Yes,
They
yes.
They used to
I'm
have.
sure, because when I went to school in Barbados in the 70s, they had some form
There
of
was
local
there was some
government.
falling out
Yes.
with the local authorities and the central government, and the central government decided, now we'll put a stop to this. We'll just repeal the act for now.
Yes.
And that is why one of the main thrusts that CLGF, Commonwealth, and the Caribbean Association, what they always try to do is to assist countries, member countries, in having local government constitutionalized.
To tell me about the acceptance of local government by national politicians, people who are elected to the Parliament of the Bahamas. There is a view in some of these territories that there is a resistance by some national politicians
to relinquish authority.
to relinquish authority to local government authorities in the region.
Local government is decentralization. Decentralization is sharing of power.
Yes.
Very few, if any, likes to give up power. We know that it's a natural human reaction. But now, when we get to understand, if we share power, we share responsibility. More hands make the load right. So we share power, we share responsibility, but we must also share resources. So the two main factors that come to play is sharing of power and then sharing of the resources. And Mr. Eneas mentioned a while ago what you will typically hear in the island of Abaco and in Spanish Wells. And their cries, we put so much in the revenue and what do we get back?
Yes.
And they say that. And I was...
We also say that in Freeport.
I'm also in Freeport.
Yes.
And I was telling Dr. Eneas, Mr. Eneas, that, you know, all the Local Government Act of 1996 provides certain rebates, certain taxes collected, certain percentages go back to the place of origin, and that has not been forthcoming.
Yes.
And then we have presented a petition paper, and we have been discussing how do we reach to the stage, to that developed stage of maturity where local authorities are permitted to collect local taxes.
Yes.
To augment the central government budgetary, yes, you know, there's always a budgetary constraint. I know that, and Mayor Lopez from Belize can tell you where they are with that.
Yes. But let me ask Ms. Slack to tell me, in terms of the Commonwealth in general, the effectiveness of local government in Commonwealth countries, especially in the Caribbean?
Well, I think you'll hear just this week while we're here having these meetings, obviously everyone has a very different experience of local government. We've got a whole range of different systems of local government, but some of these issues that Alexander's just mentioned, the issues of fiscal decentralisation, getting money to the local government level, whether that's through direct revenue raising or whether that's through fiscal transfers from central government, all of these are issues that are being hotly debated, and I think that's really the value of having a meeting such as this, where you have the opportunity for ministers to meet and to discuss and to talk about the issues that they're grappling with, and also for local government leaders to discuss how they can make a stronger case to central government for the requirements that they have. But one of the key things, of course, and you've alluded to it yourself, is really about the delivery at the local level. And I think maybe the third and final kind of part of the jigsaw for this meeting over the course of tomorrow is that we're also going to be doing a consultation in conjunction with the UN, in the United Nations Development Programme and UN Habitat, on the new Sustainable Development Goals, which are the global targets which will replace the Millennium Development Goals that currently govern the sort of global approach to development. And we're going to be asking the question about how these goals can be localised so that the kind of activities that come from those efforts at a global level actually mean something at the local level, and the role that local government should have and could have as a key player in delivering some of those sustainable development goals. So that's the other kind of part of the jigsaw, if you like, of this meeting. So these are issues we're going to be hotly debating tomorrow.
We have a country where the vast majority of the people in the Bahamas are not participating in local government. In New Providence, where the population, Godfrey, is in excess of 225,000 people. The people in New Providence do not have an opportunity to elect local government officials. That must be frowned on by the Commonwealth, eh?
Frowned on. I mean, we obviously encourage democratically elected local government. It's certainly a mandate that we have as an organisation. We'd certainly love to see an elected system of local government in Nassau and on New Providence. But obviously, it has to be a decision of the government of the day, and it has to be something that responds to the needs of local people. So I'm really heartened to hear what you're saying, that there is a groundswell of support for democratically elected local government here in New Providence, and I look forward to seeing how that progresses.
Groundswell might be putting it a little too high.
Ms. Slack, maybe Mr. Williams can answer this question. How real is local government in the Bahamas? How real? Because as I understand it, Mr. Williams, these people are elected. They can't raise taxes. They get a subsidy from the central government to conduct their affairs, and many times the subsidy is not enough. They hire people on the grounds that they are hired by the local government, and then another administration comes in, and the administration told that these people now become part of the central government. This thing is all mixed up.
No, it might appear to be mixed up from where you sit, but not quite that way.
Well, tell me where
with regards to,
can they raise taxes?
No, they cannot raise.
Do they get a subsidy from the government?
They are 100% subsidized.
Do the employees get turned over to the central government as part of the establishment?
Now let me.
No, answer me yes or no, sir.
No, it can't be a yes or no answer.
I know that to happen in past administration, where a number of people in local government had to be taken on by the central government.
Now I'll tell you how that came about.
No, is it yes or no?
Yeah, but let him answer.
No. He said that he answered two of the things I actually said yes.
Yeah, but let him
answer. He said what I said mixed up.
Their employees were not turned over to central government. They employed these persons because at one time central government had a freeze on hiring, and the central government agencies were told at the time, seek the assistance of your local government. And so the local government would have employed janitors. I'm telling you how it went because I was there. And these persons were employed by local authorities to assist in these central government agencies with the understanding that they would eventually be taken over by central government. And for years past, and that did not happen. And the central government took a bold step and said, let us take these people back to free up some of that subsidy that is sent to you so that you can be able to do more community projects with your funding. And that is how it went.
The bloating of the public establishment.
Okay, Godfrey has a follow-up question for you, Mr. Williams. We continue to talk about local government here today as the Caribbean Association of Local Government Authorities meet in New Providence. We take this break. We'll come right back.